Week 1 of the NFL is in the books, and that means it's time for our first weekly recap show of the season. We've got scores, highlights, and so much more in store, so let's go ahead and see how Week 1 went around the NFL. We're going to start on Thursday night, where the defending Super Bowl champion Bucs opened up Raymond James Stadium against Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Tom Brady and Dak Prescott combined for 7 passing touchdowns and 737 passing yards in an explosive Thursday night game. But it's Tampa Tom and the Bucs coming away victorious 41-28. In our first 1 p.m. game, the AFC South shows off as Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars go into Houston and escape with a close 31-28 win. Jaguar fans will be happy to see the number 1 overall pick get his first win in his first ever NFL regular season game, as he battled with Texans starter Tyrod Taylor. Taylor threw for 349 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception, while Lawrence finished with 339 yards, a touchdown, and an interception as well, but a great game between these two teams in an early season divisional matchup. Washington came out on a mission in Week 1. They dismantled the Chargers 52-13 behind a monster game from Ryan Fitzpatrick. He threw for 5 touchdowns, with 4 of them going to scary Terry McLaurin, who ended his receiving day with 212 yards. If Washington keeps this up, they'll be a fearsome team to contend with this season. The Seahawks come back down 21-6 to force overtime on the road against the Colts. In the end, it's a killer pass interference penalty on Seattle that allows Indianapolis to kick the game-winning field goal with no time left on the clock and win 30-27. The Panthers take down the Jets at home 31-13. Sam Darnold gets his first win of the season against his former team, throwing for 282 yards and 2 touchdowns. Both touchdown passes go to Robbie Anderson, who racked up 105 receiving yards on just 5 catches. The Panther defense made life difficult for rookie quarterback Zach Wilson, who was sacked 3 times and threw 1 touchdown and 1 interception on just 206 passing yards. In a low-scoring defensive game, it took 14 fourth-quarter points, but the Vikings come out on top over the Bengals in Cincinnati. Kirk Cousins threw the go-ahead touchdown pass to Olabisi Johnson. Then, with under 2 minutes left, Dalvin Cook put the dagger in on his only rushing touchdown, finishing with a heavy workload of 35 carries for 123 yards. In the Music City, there was a ton of it being played as both teams went up and down the field scoring in every quarter. Derrick Henry scores a game-tying touchdown late in the 4th. The extra point put them ahead by 1. But it's the Cardinals having the last laugh as Matt Prater bangs home the game-winning field goal to walk it off 37-35. Jimmy Garoppolo throws not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 interceptions as the Lions pounce all over the 49ers to the tune of 44-10. Jared Goff throws 3 touchdown passes in his Lions debut. All 3 go to Chad Hansen, the 5th-year receiver from Cal. After the game, 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan said that Garoppolo will start in Week 2, and there's no plans as of now to start the rookie, Trey Lance. The Steelers and Bills battle all the way to overtime as the Grizzle veteran Ben Roethlisberger and Josh Allen tango. This time, it's the veteran Big Ben ending the game on the opening drive of overtime as he connects with Chase Claypool, who runs it in for the win. Roethlisberger has a big day, throwing for 503 yards and 2 touchdowns. The last 1 o'clock game comes down to the wire as well, as Matty Ice still has it, leading a game-winning drive, completing this pass to Hayden Hurst on the goal line, and the Falcons defeat the Eagles 25-20, sending the Atlanta crowd home happy. The AFC champion Chiefs show up at home and make sure the Browns hail to them on this day. Patrick Mahomes throws 3 touchdown passes, all going to his favorite target, Tyreek Hill. The Chiefs get the huge 42-17 win at home in Arrowhead. We saw our Packers go into overtime against the Saints in a game that saw Aaron Rodgers throw 3 interceptions, all to Malcolm Jenkins. But that was not enough, as the bad man himself led the overtime drive, setting up Mason Crosby to kick the game-winning 23-yard field goal to spoil the Saints home opener, 37-34. In the Big Apple, it's a Saquon Barkley show as he scores 4 times on the ground. The Giants come back from trailing 21-0 in the first quarter to win 38-33 over Denver. Miami has the Patriots' number in terms of historical record, kicking off their AFC East rivalry. The Dolphins put up a ton of points, while forcing Cam Newton to 2 interceptions and holding the Patriots to just 9 points all in the first quarter. Tua Tagovailoa throws 2 touchdown passes, one to Devontae Parker, the other to the rookie from Alabama, Jalen Waddle, and the Dolphins win 37-9 and move to 58-54 all-time against the Patriots. The Sunday night game was another defensive-heavy matchup between the Bears and Rams. Los Angeles did their best to come back, scoring 10 points in the fourth and tying the game. But rookie Justin Fields overcomes 3 interceptions, leads his team down the field, and paves the way for Cairo Santos to kick what would end up being the game-winning field goal as the Bears win 13-10 under the bright lights of SoFi Stadium. And finally, in our Monday night game, the Ravens spoil the opening of Allegiant Stadium for the Raiders and win an exciting ball game, 38-24. The game was tied entering the final quarter, but Baltimore scores 14 points and shuts out the Raider offense in the process to come out on top. It's time to take a look at standings for the first time this year after week 1. Let's start in the AFC North. The Ravens and Steelers both win on week 1. Bengals and Browns are both 0-1 losing their opening games. In the AFC South, it's the Jaguars and Colts victorious in week 1. Titans and Texans both 0-1. In the AFC East, the Dolphins are the only team with a win in the division as of right now. We'll see how it goes in week 2. And see if any of the other teams, Bills, Jets, or Patriots, get into the win column in week 2. The same story in the AFC West, where the Chiefs are the only team to win in week 1. Broncos, Raiders, and Chargers all losing on opening weekend. Going on over to the NFC North, it's the opposite story, where everybody won in the division in week 1. Lions, Packers, Bears, and Vikings, oh my, all of them, all 1-0. In the NFC South, the Bucks, Falcons, and Panthers all winners in week 1. The Saints losers in overtime against the Packers in week 1. In the NFC East, one of the toughest divisions in football, it's Washington and the Giants in first place, 1-0. Eagles and Cowboys both losers in week 1. And finally in the NFC West, the Cardinals are the only team with a win, 1-0. Rams, Seahawks, and 49ers all 0-1. Now it's time to see who takes home the AFC and NFC Player of the Week awards for opening weekend. Starting in the AFC, the Offensive Player of the Week award goes to Derrick Henry. Henry had tremendous success on the ground despite the Titans being handed the loss. He finished the day with 160 yards and 3 touchdowns on 21 carries. He also caught 3 balls for 19 yards and had a receiving touchdown as well. It's 4 total touchdowns for Henry. The Defensive Player of the Week in the AFC is AJ Espinoza. The second-year man out of Iowa was a force on defense for the Bills, sacking Ben Roethlisberger 3 times, getting a forced fumble, and 5 tackles as well. On the NFC side of things, the Offensive Player of the Week award goes to Ryan Fitzpatrick out of Washington. Fitzmagic was on full display, throwing all over the Chargers defense, finishing for 373 yards and 5 touchdowns. The Defensive Player of the Week in the NFC is Bucs linebacker Devin White. White was all over the field against the Cowboys, getting 20 tackles, 3 of those were being for a loss, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. Congratulations to all the players taking home the Week 1 hardware. We'll see how all these players do in Week 2, and maybe see some repeat performances back here in the Player of the Week award section for next week. Let's look ahead to the next Packers game versus the Lions as NFC North play gets underway for these two teams as they'll meet in week 2 for their first meeting of the season. The Lions are coming off a dominant win over the 49ers, where their defense forced Jimmy Garoppolo to throw 4 interceptions. Our Packers are coming off an overtime win in New Orleans against the Saints, so both teams are riding high for various reasons. We'll have to see how that impacts the game coming up. In other news around the league, there's some other things to watch out for heading into week 2. The first of those being, can Trevor Lawrence win 2 games in a row as the Jaguars open up home field against the Broncos? There is a potential playoff preview in the Sunday night game as the Chiefs and Ravens square off in prime time. We'll definitely keep an eye on that one for sure heading into the week. And finally, can the Washington offense have another big game at home against the Giants on Thursday night? They scored a ton of points in their week 1 win, and you've gotta think that they want to try and do the same thing against the Giants coming up on Thursday. With all that being said, that wraps up the week 1 weekly recap show. Let me know what you guys think of it. I added some new things to this one with the highlights and that kind of stuff mixed in, so I hope that was a little more entertaining overall instead of looking at mostly graphics like I had a couple years ago when I did it in Madden 20 with the Ravens. Let me know what you guys think about this, and I'll see if I can improve it going forward based on your suggestions and things like that. But in the meantime, that's gonna do it for me. I will see you all in the next video. It's been very fun putting these first 2 episodes together for y'all. I'm excited to see how this goes. If you're new here, please hit the like button and subscribe so you can get notified and stay updated for all things Packers franchise and all other franchise content that I do here on the channel. Take care, you guys. Stay on the channel, watch some more videos, and you know what to do until next time. Keep on shining and keep on grinding. I will see you all in the next one.